Hey everyone, and welcome back for another deep dive with us. Today we're going way back to 1951,
Ooh, 1951.
right in the thick of the Cold War,
Yeah.
to explore a really perplexing event,
Okay.
the Fort Monmouth UFO radar sighting.
Interesting.
So picture this.
Yeah.
Tensions are super high between the US and the Soviets,
Right.
and all of a sudden radar screens at this military base in New Jersey
Okay.
are lighting up with objects that are behaving in ways that no known aircraft could.
No known
Yeah,
aircraft.
we're talking like
Wow.
really bizarre stuff.
Okay. I'm intrigued.
So we've got multiple witnesses, official investigations that happen,
Okay.
and it just leaves us with so many enduring questions.
I can't wait to hear more.
So are you ready to unpack all of this with me today?
Absolutely. Let's get into it.
Perfect. So what makes Fort Monmouth so interesting is the quality of the evidence that we're dealing with.
Okay.
It's not just grainy photos or anecdotal accounts for people who may or may not
Right.
have seen something strange.
Right.
We have data, hard data, from multiple radar stations.
Oh.
And these were operated by trained military personnel.
Okay.
So really reliable sources.
Yeah.
And some of these people who were manning the radar stations, they even reported seeing strange lights
Oh, wow.
in the sky that seemed to match up with what they were seeing on their radar screens.
So visual confirmation as well?
Exactly.
Okay.
So let's actually set the scene a little bit, transport ourselves back in time.
Love it.
It's September 10th, 1951. Night has fallen at Fort Monmouth.
Okay.
Our radar operators are doing their normal routine scans, looking for anything unusual,
Mm-hmm.
and then suddenly things take a turn for the bizarre.
Okay.
So walk us through what happened. What did they start to see on those screens?
Well, I'll tell you what, these weren't just your average blips that they were used to seeing. The objects, whatever they were exhibiting speeds and making maneuvers
Uh-huh.
that would have absolutely ripped apart any conventional aircraft. I mean, think about it. Sharp turns, rapid ascents, sudden drops.
Yeah.
I mean, the G-forces would be incredible.
Yeah.
And remember, this is 1951.
Right.
We're talking long before
Yeah.
advanced stealth technology or like super maneuverable jets.
Yeah, you're right.
What they were seeing was just simply beyond
Yeah.
the capabilities of any nation
Really?
at that time.
At that time, yeah.
It's incredible.
It is mind-boggling, and it just makes you think, like, how is this even possible?
Exactly.
And to add to all of this, like I said before, these weren't just like
Right.
rookie operators
Right.
who might have mistaken,
Yeah.
a flock of birds for something extraterrestrial or whatever.
Right. Right.
These were highly skilled professionals.
Absolutely.
They were trained to identify all sorts of things in the air,
Right.
friendly aircraft, enemy aircraft,
Weather
phenomena, all of that.
Exactly.
So they knew what they were looking at, and they knew this was not normal.
And that's what makes it so fascinating to me. Yes.
Is that you have these multiple stations in the area,
Right.
all picking up
Yeah.
these unidentified objects, corroborating
Yeah.
each other's observations.
Uh-huh.
So this pretty much eliminates the possibility of it being equipment malfunction.
Totally.
Right. You have
Yeah.
multiple radars picking up the same thing.
Yeah, that's a good point.
It's not just one.
Yeah.
So it makes it very clear that something truly unusual
Oh.
was happening.
I can only imagine what must have been going through these operators' minds
Oh,
as they're watching these blips just zipping across their screens
Yeah.
and seemingly defying the laws of physics as we know them.
Breaking the laws of physics.
Right. Did any of them actually leave behind any accounts of what they experienced that night?
Well, the eyewitness accounts are actually really crucial in this case.
Oh,
So there's this one operator, and he described the objects as moving in ways that no human pilot could possibly survive.
Oh. And another operator likened it to watching something dance across the screen.
Wow.
And when you read their testimonies,
Yeah.
you really get a sense of awe and bewilderment,
Yeah.
which further just solidifies the strangeness of the event.
Dancing across the screen. I mean, that really paints a picture in your mind
Right?
of something.
How do you even begin to explain that?
Right. And then we also can't forget about the visual confirmations.
Right.
Right. This isn't just radar data we're talking about.
Exactly.
This is multiple people
Yeah.
seeing something out there in the sky with their own eyes
Their own eyes.
that seemed to match up with what was being shown on the radar.
Yeah, and I think it's also important to remember the
Yeah.
credibility of these witnesses, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
These weren't civilians who might be, prone to flights of fancy.
Right.
These were trained professionals, trained observers,
Right.
and their shock and confusion
Yeah.
really lends significant weight
Yeah.
to this whole event.
Yeah.
It pushes Fort Monmouth even further into the realm of the unexplained. I
Right.
mean, think about it. We've got trained radar operators.
Yeah.
We have multiple corroborated sightings.
Yeah.
And now we also have these visual reports from people on the ground.
Right.
But the biggest question still remains.
What is it?
What were they actually seeing?
Right. What were they seeing?
It's the ultimate mystery.
A question that has haunted researchers and enthusiasts for decades.
It has.
And a question that led to a very serious military investigation.
Oh, absolutely.
So how did the Air Force actually respond to this situation?
Well, they
Definitely during such a tense period in history.
They took it very, very seriously.
Yeah.
The Air Force, understandably concerned,
Right.
conducted a very thorough investigation,
Okay.
interviewed all the witnesses,
Uh-huh.
analyzed all the radar data,
Okay.
tried to look for any possible conventional explanation.
Okay. So they really went all in.
They went all in.
Trying to crack this case wide open.
They did.
What did they find?
Well,
Or should I say, what didn't they find?
that's the frustrating part.
Okay.
Despite their best efforts,
Uh-huh.
their official conclusion was unidentified.
Really?
They couldn't explain it. I mean, they looked at everything.
Yeah.
Weather phenomena,
Yeah.
equipment malfunctions, known aircraft,
Yeah.
even potential enemy activity.
Okay.
Everything was ruled out.
Wow.
The mystery persisted.
So they basically just threw their hands up and said, we don't know.
That's essentially what happened.
Wow.
Yeah, it's a real head scratcher.
It is.
It is.
Amazing.
Yeah. You really have to think about the context here.
Right.
The Cold War, every unexplained blip on a radar screen
Yeah.
immediately thought of as
A threat.
potential threat.
Yeah.
Especially something like this involving technology that seems so advanced.
Yeah.
It was always scrutinized as like, is this the Soviets? Have they gotten ahead of us?
Yeah. Did they find some new technology that we
Yeah.
don't know anything about?
Exactly.
That's so interesting.
But there's no indication that they ever even seriously considered
Oh, really?
that this was Soviet technology. It
Right.
was just too far ahead.
Too
That if
advanced.
anything that was known at the time,
Yeah.
even for the Soviets, it was just like, what?
Right.
How could they possibly?
It really makes you wonder, like,
Yeah.
if
Yeah.
it wasn't the Soviets, then who or what was behind it?
Right.
It's like someone flipped a switch.
Yeah.
And suddenly, our understanding of what's technologically possible,
Right.
in 1951, it just went out the window.
It's true. It really challenges the
Yeah.
limits of our knowledge.
Yeah.
And it leaves us grappling with the possibility of something truly extraordinary.
It does.
It does.
So I have to imagine that this caused quite a stir in the media.
Oh, absolutely.
Right. I mean,
Yeah.
you have this unexplained aerial phenomenon
Mm.
happening right in the middle of the Cold War.
Yeah.
And the Air Force can't even tell us what it is.
They can't give a straight answer.
Yeah.
The public must have gone wild.
I'll bet their imaginations just went into overdrive.
Oh, they were eating it up.
What was the coverage like?
I mean, it was everywhere. Newspapers, radio, you name it.
Wow.
Headlines were screaming like flying discs, buzz jersey,
Oh, catchy.
and mystery radar blips baffle experts.
Very dramatic.
It was dramatic.
Oh, but
And the radio broadcasts were carrying these eyewitness accounts,
right.
adding to the whole sense of intrigue and mystery.
It's been like,
It was a frenzy.
yeah, a frenzy.
And, you have to remember,
Yeah.
this is happening not too long after the Roswell
Oh,
incident.
that's right.
And all these other high-profile UFO sightings were happening. So
Right.
people were already primed
Yeah.
to believe that something truly extraordinary was
Yeah.
happening in the skies.
Yeah. They were ready to believe.
They were ready. They were hungry for it.
It's like all of these factors just came
And
together
it's like the perfect storm
at the perfect
to
time.
create this
Yeah.
UFO craze.
So we've got Cold War anxieties. We've
Mhm.
got this advanced technology that's
Okay.
behaving in ways we don't understand.
Right.
And we've got a public that's already fascinated by the idea of aliens.
Yes.
Did this event with the official unidentified stamp on it,
Right.
did it cause like a wave of other similar sightings?
It's hard to say for sure
Okay.
if it directly caused
Yeah.
a wave of copycat sightings,
Right.
but it certainly
Yeah.
fueled the public's fascination with UFOs.
Okay.
Fort Monmouth provided this very compelling case
Right.
with credible witnesses,
Yeah.
official acknowledgement
Yeah.
that something strange had happened.
Something we can't explain.
Right.
It's hard to quantify the impact,
Yeah.
but it definitely contributed to the whole,
The zeitgeist.
yeah, the cultural
A
zeitgeist.
UFO zeitgeist.
It's amazing to think about how one event on a seemingly ordinary night
Right.
could have such a lasting impact
It is amazing.
on our culture.
So how did Fort Monmouth shape how the public thinks about UFOs?
Yeah.
And like the ongoing debate about
Oh, yeah.
government transparency and all that.
Exactly.
Well, Fort Monmouth became a landmark case,
Right.
a cornerstone in UFO lore,
Yeah.
It's hard to dismiss it because of all the evidence. It's
Yeah.
not just one person seeing something.
Yeah.
It was this coordinated event.
Right. Multiple people.
Multiple people.
Using technology.
trained professionals.
Trained professionals. Exactly.
Using sophisticated equipment.
Right.
And the fact that the military couldn't explain it
Yeah.
just intensified the public intrigue.
Right. They're like, well, if you can't explain it,
Yeah.
what's really going on here?
What are you hiding from us?
Exactly. It makes you think, like,
It does. Is there something more to this?
it raises those big questions.
You know what they're telling us?
Like, if it wasn't weather.
Right. If it wasn't equipment malfunction,
Uh-huh.
if it wasn't some aircraft we already know about,
Yeah.
and it wasn't enemy activity,
Yeah.
then what was it?
What was it?
What were those operators actually seeing?
On their screens and in the sky above Fort Monmouth.
It's the ultimate question.
It is. It's a question that has lingered for decades.
It has.
And while we may never have the definitive answers,
Right.
the Fort Monmouth incident really does serve as a powerful reminder
It does.
that there are still mysteries out there.
Oh, tons of them.
Things that we can't easily explain.
Unexplained phenomena.
Exactly.
Yeah, events that just defy easy explanation.
It reminds us that our understanding of the universe,
Our limited understanding.
right, it's limited.
Yeah.
It's always evolving.
Always changing.
And maybe there are things happening out there that
But-
we're just beginning to grasp.
We're just scratching the surface.
So let's recap a little bit.
Okay, good idea.
What we've learned in our deep dive today,
Okay.
we have multiple radar stations
Uh-huh.
picking up these unidentified objects,
Right.
moving in ways that should have been impossible.
Possible for any known aircraft at the
Oh,
time.
We have eyewitnesses,
Yes.
credible eyewitnesses,
Trained military personnel.
trained military personnel
Mhm.
who are describing these objects as,
Bewildering.
yeah, with awe and confusion.
Yeah, they were stunned.
And we have this official investigation
Right.
that could only conclude
They did their best.
that these objects were unidentified.
They couldn't figure it out.
Yeah, they couldn't.
Nope.
And then, of course, we have the media frenzy
The media loved it.
that just pushed this whole incident
Yeah.
into the public consciousness,
Right into the spotlight.
making it one of the most well-known
One of the biggest
UFO sightings in history.
in history.
So I'm curious,
Yeah.
what stands out to you the most about this event?
That's a good question.
What makes it so fascinating after all this
Wow.
time?
It's tough to pick just one thing. But I think for me, it's the combination of factors.
Right.
You've got the Cold War going on in the background.
Right,
You've got this cutting-edge radar technology
Right.
being used to watch the skies.
Yeah.
And then this event happens that just taps right into our fascination
Yeah.
with the unknown.
The things we can't explain.
Exactly.
It's a story that speaks to the mystery of the universe and our little place in it.
It really does.
And it's a story that continues to make us ask questions.
Oh, yeah.
If it wasn't from here,
Right.
what was it?
Exactly.
And if there's some explanation,
Right.
why haven't we figured it out yet?
Why does the mystery still remain?
The Air Force had all the resources.
All the resources in the world.
You'd think they'd be able to solve it.
You would think.
It's like a puzzle
Yeah.
where some of the pieces are just missing.
And we keep trying to put it together.
Right. We keep coming back to it.
We can't help ourselves.
We want to make sense of it.
We want answers.
So for everyone listening out there,
Yeah.
don't just take our word for it.
Go and do some digging.
Look into the Fort Monmouth incident yourselves.
Read those eyewitness accounts.
Explore those reports
Read the official documents.
and consider all the theories.
all the possibilities.
You might be surprised at what you find.
You never know.
Maybe you'll come up with a new theory,
Yeah.
something we haven't even thought of,
Maybe you'll find that missing piece of the puzzle.
and help us all understand this incredible event.
Yeah, wouldn't that be something?
That's all the time we have for today.
Well, that went fast,
It did.
but it was fun.
Always a blast talking about this stuff.
So until next time,
Keep looking up.
keep those eyes in the skies
Keep questioning.
and never stop exploring.
All those mysteries out there, just waiting to be discovered.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us.
See you next time.